WedgeCast. My name is Matt Baxter. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Wedge, and I'm sitting here with Tim Sackett, who has just become an awesome friend throughout this whole process. But most importantly, I'm kind of sitting in the presence of greatness. What I do know is that I think there's something I read along the lines of being the starting backup point guard for your men's basketball league. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. Always. I don't even know if I can show up to play anymore.
I just feel presence when I'm with you. It's awesome. So, anyways, Tim is a man who understands HR, understands recruiting, understands the tech behind it. He's a unique background from recruiting side, HR side, and also the trends going forward. So, I guess with that, can you give us just a little bit of background of kind of what you're doing now, and then we'll kind of dive into a few questions?
Well, I'm based here right in Lansing, Michigan.
Yep.
Run HRU Technical Resources. So I'm the president of that. It's IT engineering staffing. Also write every single day at timsackett.com. Just launched my book this year, The Talent Fix. So a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But it's all, for the most part, around talent acquisition HR.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been in the game, you understand sort of where things are going, you're involved, you go to conferences, you speak at conferences, you're writing a book. So in the last 6 months to a year, I mean, what are you noticing that's maybe different than what it's been in the past?
Well, I mean, I think everyone's feeling the pain of not being able to attract talent. Mm-hmm. So we know that that's already been there. That's not new. I think what's the new piece of it is watching all the companies adjust to try to figure out how do we go after candidates because it's hurting our growth. It's just, it's not making us successful. All these things, and so what we're seeing, I think, is a lot of the marketing trends are continuing. Now, again, that's another trend that's been happening for a while.
Sure.
But like when you look at personalization, hyper personalization, really getting the connection between. If you think about Generation Z, young millennials. They don't necessarily want to apply to a job. Right. They want to apply to their job.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to apply to a job that's designed for them.
The fit, the purpose, where am I adding value, and I want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to apply to a job for 200 other people apply to, so do you really want me? And so, how are we personalizing the message to me is one of the things that I've seen probably the biggest increase in, which is this kind of how do we personalize? And then the hard part of that is if it's just one-on-one, me and you.
Yeah.
I can personalize to you really well.
Right.
But if it's 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000, now that hyper-personalization becomes really difficult at scale. So I think that's where the technology has really come in to help a lot, and we're seeing some of that.
Yeah. So I guess what in all that, so that's certainly there's a lot to learn both from a company side and from a job seeker side, but what's your advice to job seekers in that process? So knowing, one, it's a job seeker market, right? Companies are trying to do anything they can to get people in the door. So knowing that, what's your advice to job seekers who might actually still be struggling to find, or just how to navigate the waters of that?
Yeah, I mean, one is I think every person has to have their own brand.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, a test case for that, right? Like I have my own Tim Sackett brand, and then I also run a company and do these other things. And even I struggle on connecting brands. Right. Because I don't want necessarily, if I have a great personal brand, that's fine. But if it's not helping my career, it's not helping my business, then it doesn't make sense. So it's making sure it's all kind of connected. And I think a lot of younger people, especially if they had like Gen X parents or baby boom grandparents that were in the business world, and they give them advice that isn't necessarily relevant today, which is, they're kind of coming to them and saying like, oh, you just, you have to be a company person, or you have to be this, and
do your time and never leave, and you'll get there.
Yeah, it's more about the company than it is you. And I'm like, well, no, it's both, right?
Yeah.
You still have to have a strong personal brand to be able to go out and do what you need to do personally. But also, it's that connection of personal and professional. Like my grandparents, my mother and dad, they would sit there and go, well, no, I have two lives, right? I have a personal life and I have a professional life, and they're two different people. Yeah. And I think when we take a look at younger generations, it's no, I'm going to live one life. I'm going to be the same person professionally as I am personally, and either you will those will connect, or they won't, and I'm probably not the person you want.
Yeah. So I think you sort of alluded to this to some degree, but I guess on that, so if you were to go search for a job, today, knowing what you know, whether it's, when you were kind of in the job seeking market, or like just if you were to go search for a job today, what would you do differently maybe than what you had in the past, or what you, I guess now that you know what you know?
Well, I definitely wouldn't spray and like spray and pray. Like again, like it's kind of what we're told to do from talent acquisition professionals.
Yeah.
Versus what really works.
Yeah.
We're told follow the process.
Sure.
Go, here's A, B, C, D, E. Go to the website and put in the stuff and do this. The reality is most applicants that go through and post a resume or post an application or post to a job on a website never get seen.
Right.
Right? They get lost in the ATS. I mean, let's like just a normal position. Let's say a person puts up a position for a customer service rep. 100 people apply.
Yep.
Talent acquisition professional is going to get in the system. They're going to take a look at the first 10.
Yep.
They're going to find 5 that are close. They're going to call those 5. They're probably going to screen out a couple, and all of a sudden they're going to interview 3, and they're going to hire 1. Well, there's 90 people that never even got looked at.
Exactly.
And so how do you get yourself to the front of that pile? Well, I would network with people at the company. I would network with people I went to school with, and I would have somebody I know walk my resume down to the person
So
that's
you know it's
hiring,
actually
to the
just gonna
hiring
get looked
manager,
at,
not
yeah.
even to talent acquisition and HR, because the hiring manager then is going to come. Because here's something also behind, it's the dynamics of culture in
Yeah.
organizations, is hiring managers love to go to HR and throw the resume on the desk and act like they did the work.
Right. Here's the person,
Hey,
done deal. I know your job's easy now.
I found somebody. You just go ahead and vet them, send them over for the interview.
Yeah, everything's good. They're gonna be great.
But they love doing that. And again, talent acquisition HR, like they don't really care. Like they don't go, oh no, I'm going to find the person and I'm going to find you a better person.
Right.
They're just like, thank God I don't have to fill that job,
Exactly.
right? So it doesn't necessarily no one's like getting their feelings hurt, but you're kind of playing to the dynamics of organizational culture.
Sure.
And at the same time, just doing what you need to do, which
Yeah.
is go out and build your network.
Yep.
And I get so many people that'll go, well, I went to Michigan State University, and and I just don't have that big of a network from there. And I'm like, are you kidding? There's 40,000 people a year graduating. Like
The network of alumni, wherever it is.
they
the
don't
network
care.
of-
Yeah. I mean, if there's a company and you do a search and you search for the university and you find somebody and you just say, look, hey, I'm a Sparty reaching out, or I'm a Wolverine reaching out, or whatever, like those networks will actually do you really well.
Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I total entertaining question. Favorite interview question.
I love to ask people, because here's what I get is I'll interview somebody, like let's say for a recruiter. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
And because that's what I hire in my company.
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh, recruiting's my life. I'm a recruiter, and I'll say, oh, good. So let me know how you stay up in the field. How do you stay relevant in the field? What do you study? What are you reading? What are you going to do?
Well, that passion is it.
What,
That
no,
keeps me ahead of the
like,
game,
well,
doesn't it?
I show up every day, right?
Yeah.
I lif love recruiting. I work every day.
I
I'm
read
like,
your blog, right?
Yeah, they don't even do that. No, that would get them hired. No. Hopefully, if they made the interview stage with me, they're smart enough to understand that.
At least read the most 3 recent ones,
Yeah,
so at least
something.
when you call something out.
But it's shocking to me to see people who are 10 years, 15 years, 20 years into a field, and then when you ask them that question, they look at you like, oh crap, I don't really do anything to stay relevant.
Right.
Like I mean, again, even if you was just like, well, I belong to a Facebook group of recruiters in my city. Like, great. At least
Sweet.
you're network. At least you're doing something that's engaging you in your field. Because I want people who are passionate.
Right.
I don't even care if they're passionate about the job I'm hiring them for. If they come back, like I have a great story. I interviewed a woman for a recruiter position, entry level, no background.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to find out, like, talk to me about what you're passionate about. And she was passionate about dance, and then she started leading me through, like, all the stuff she did in this dance thing, and all the work and all the different things. And I'm like, there's a person, like, if I know you know how to follow your passion,
Right.
and if I can get you passionate about the job I'm hiring you for, it's a done deal.
Exactly.
They'll figure
Connects
that
the
out.
dots.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so many people just don't.
Right.
They don't do it.
Well, that's awesome, Tim. Thank you so much for being on the show. I think,
Yeah, man.
I
Thanks
think
for
what
having
you
me.
offered is it's a unique blend between being on the candidate side, being in the recruiting world, and then also understanding the HR side. So I think it's all awesome. So
Yeah, I mean, the best recruiters, right, are really just people that can put themselves in the candidate's shoes and say, how would I want to be recruited?
Exactly.
It's the same
Exactly.
thing.
That's awesome. So
All right.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great show.
All right.